Hello, Mark. I'm Jake, and my number is 57. The topic I'm going to read today is what I learned as a kid in jail. We need to change the culture in our jails and prisons, especially for young inmates. New York State is one of only two in the U.S. that automatically arrests and trials 16 to 17-year-olds as adults. This culture of violence takes these young people and put them into a hostile environment. And the correction officers pretty much allow anything and everything to happen to them. There's not really much for these young people to do actually enhance their talent and actually rehabilitate them. Until we raise the age of criminal responsibility to 18, we need to focus on changing the daily lives of these young people. I know firsthand, before I ever turned 18, I spent approximately 400 days on Rikers Island. And to add to that, I spent almost 300 days in solitary confinement. And let me tell you this, screaming at the top of your lungs all day on your cell door or screaming at the top of your lungs out of the window, it gets tiring. Since there's not much for you to do while you're in there, you start packing back and forth in your cell. You start talking to yourself. Your thoughts start running wild, and then your thoughts become your own worst enemy. Jails are actually supposed to rehabilitate a person, not cause him or her to become more angry, frustrated, and feel more hopeless. Since there's not a discharge plan put in place for these young people, they pretty much render social with nothing. And there's not really much for them to do to keep them from recidivating. But it all starts with the COs. It's very easy for some people to look at this correction officer as a good guy and the inmates as a bad guy, or the vice versa for some. But it's a little more than that. See, these COs are normal, everyday people. They come from the same neighborhood as the population they serve. They're just normal people. There are no robots. There's nothing special about them. They do pretty much everything anybody else in the society does. The male COs want to talk and flirt with the male COs. They play the little high school kids games with each other, and the police with one another. And the female COs gossip to each other. So I spent numerous amounts of time with numerous amounts of COs, and let me tell you about this one in particular named Monroe. One day he pulled me out in between the A and B doors which separate the north and south sides of housing units. He pulled me out this because I had a physical altercation with another young man in my housing unit. And he felt since there was a female officer working on the floor that I violated his shift. So he punched me in my chest. He kind of knocked the wind out of me. I wasn't impulsive. I didn't react right away because I know this is their house. I have no wins. All he had to do is pull his pin and backup will come immediately. So I just gave him a look in his eyes, and I guess he saw the anger and frustration just burning. And he said, "Your eyes are going to get you in a lot of trouble because you look like you want to fight." So he commenced to taking off his unit belt. He took off his shirt and his badge, and he said, "We could fight." So I asked him, "You gonna hold it down?" Now, that's a term that commonly used on Rikers Island, meaning that you're not going to say anything to anybody, and you're going to report it. He said, "Yeah, I'm going to hold it down." "You going to hold it down?" I didn't even respond. I just punched him right away, and we began fighting right then and there. Towards the end of the fight, he slammed me up against the wall. So while we were trussing up, he said to me, "You good?" as if he got the best of me. But in my mind, I knew I got the best of him. So I replied very cocky, "Oh, I'm good. You good?" He said, "Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. So let's go." She shook my hand, said He gave me my respect, gave me a cigarette, and sent me on my way. Believe it or not, you come across some CEOs on Rikers Island that fight you one-on-one. They feel that they understand how it is, and they feel that I'm going to meet you where you're at, since this is how you commonly handle your disputes. We can handle it in that manner. I walk away from it like a man. You walk away from it like a man, and that's it. Some CEOs feel like that they've gelled with you. This is why they have that mentally and that attitude, and they go by that concept. In some instances, we're in together with the CEOs. However, institutions need to give this correction officer proper training on how to properly deal with the adolescent population. And they also need to give them proper training on how to deal with the mental health population as well. These CEOs play a big factor in these young people's life for X moment of time, until the disposition is reached on their case. So why not try to mentor these young people while they're there? Why not to try to give them some type of insight to make a change? So once they enter back into society, they're doing something positive. A second big thing to help our team in jail is better programming. While I was on Rikers Island, the huge thing was solitary confinement. Solitary confinement was originally designed to break a prison's mental, physical, and environmentally. That's what it was designed for. The U.S. Attorney General recently released a report stating that they're going to ban social confinement in New York State for teens. One thing that kept me sane while I was in solitary confinement was reading. I tried to educate myself as much as possible. I read any and everything I could get on my hands on. And aside from that, I wrote music and short stories. Some programs that I feel would benefit our young people and our art therapy program for the kids that like to draw and have that talent. And what about the young individuals that are musical and incident? How about the music program for them that actually teaches them how to write and make music? Just a thought. When adolescents come to Rikers Island, C-74 Rendick is the building that they house. That's nicknamed the Gladiator School, because you have a young individual coming in from the street thinking that they're tough, being surrounded by a bunch of other individuals from all the five boroughs, and everyone feels that they're tough. So now you have a bunch of young gentlemen poking their chests out, feeling and that I have to prove I'm equally as tough as you, or I'm together than you and you. But let's be honest, that culture is very dangerous and damaging to our young people. We need to help institutions and these teams to realize that they don't have to lead the previous lifestyle that they lead when they're on the street. That they can actually change. It's sad to report that while I was in prison, I usually to hear dudes talking about when they get released from prison, what type of crimes they are going to commit when they get back into the street. The conversation used to sound something like this: "Oh, when I hit the street, my brother got this connection for this, or my man over here got this connection for the low price. Let's exchange information. And when we hit the town, we're going to do it real big." I used to hear this conversation and think to myself, wow, these dudes are really talking about going back in the street and committing future crimes. So I came up with a name for that. I call it a go back to jail quick scheme. Because really, How long is that going to last? You get a retirement plan with that. Nice little pension 401, 403. You get healthy insurance, dental. But I will tell you this. Being in jail and being in prison, I came across some of the most intelligent, brilliant, and talented people that I would ever met. I've seen individuals that take a potato chip bag and turn it into the most beautiful picture frame. I've seen individuals take the state soap that's provided for free and turn them into the most beautiful sculpture that would make Michelangelo look like a kindergarten maid. At the age of 21, I was in a maximum security prison called El Maria Correction Facility. I just came out of the weight shack from working out, and I saw an older gentleman that I knew standing in the middle of the yard just looking up the sky. Mind you, this older gentleman was serving a 33 and a 30 to life sentence in which he had served 20 years of that sentence. So I walked up to him and said, "Oh gee, what's going on, man? You good?" He looked at me and he said, "Yeah, I'm good, young blood." I'm like, "So, what are you looking at up the sky, man? So, what's so fascinating up there?" He said, you look up and you tell me what you see. Clouds." He said, "All right, what else do you see?" At that moment, it was a plane passing by. I said, "All right, I see a plane." He said, "Actually, and what's on the airplane?" "People." "Exactly. Now, where's that plane and those people going?" "I don't know. You know? Please let me know if you know." "Then let me get some lottery numbers." He said, "You're missing the big picture, young blood. That plane with those people is going somewhere, while we're here stuck. The big picture is this. That plane with those people going somewhere, that's life passing by us, while we're behind this wall, stuck." Ever since that day, that sparked something in my mind and made me know I had to make some change. Growing up, I was always a good, smart kid. Some people would say I was a little too smart for my own good. I had dreams of becoming an artistic or an archaeologist. Currently, I'm working at the Fulton Society, which is mentally programmed, and I work with people as a case manager that are a high risk for recidivism. So I connect them with the service that they need once they're released from jail and prison, so they can make a transition back into society. If I was to see my 15-year-old self today, I would sit down and talk to him and try to educate him, and I would tell him, "Listen, this is me, I'm you, this is us, we're one. Everything that you're about to do, I know what you're gonna do before you do it, because I already did it." And I would encourage him not to hang out with the X, Y, and Z people. I would tell him not to be in such and such place. I would tell him to keep your mind in school, man, because that's where you need to be, because that's how it's going to get you somewhere in life. This is the message that you should sharing with your young man and young woman. We shouldn't be treating them as adults and put them into culture of violence that they are nearly impossible for them to escape. Thank you.